The Galactic Council chamber was silent as the human delegation entered. All 12 ambassadorial seats were filled, representing the member species of the United Systems of Galaxies. The humans shuffled to their assigned area in the center of the room, escorted by armed guards. Ambassador Xylax, an elderly Braxian, rose slowly from his seat. Let this emergency session of the Galactic Council begin. We are here to address the petition submitted by the honorable delegates from the planet Earth, seeking to rescind the Council's recent declaration that humanity constitutes a threat to galactic civilization. Murmurs and whispers filled the chamber. Ambassador Xylax raised a claw for silence. As laid forth in the Council's bylaws, the accused party has the right to present evidence in their defense prior to a final verdict being rendered. The humans claim to have proof that the Council's judgment was made in error. I recognize Ambassador Richard Hill of Earth to make his case before this governing body. Ambassador Hill stepped forward, clearing his throat nervously. Esteemed members of the Council, distinguished ambassadors, we come before you today to contest the egregious accusations against humanity. We are a peaceful species seeking cooperation, not conflict. We humbly ask you to reconsider your harsh judgment of our kind. Ambassador Wraith, a serpentine representative, rose swiftly. Nonsense. The humans are clearly a primitive and violent race, as evidenced by their bloody history. We have seen their broadcasts celebrating warfare and death. The Council's declaration was just and prudent. These savages cannot be trusted among civilized beings. Murmurs of agreement echoed among several of the ambassadors. Ambassador Hill maintained his composure. Our history has seen war and struggle. That is true, but much has changed. Our broadcast media reflects our past, not our present. We have outgrown the folly of our ancestors. Today, we value peace, discovery, and unity with our galactic neighbors. The Braxian ambassador rattled his mandibles thoughtfully. You make an impassioned case, Ambassador Hill, and yet you offer only words. The Council dealt humanity this sentence based on careful review of your behaviors and capabilities. What evidence do you possess to refute our conclusions? Ambassador Hill nodded. Honored Council, if I may. At the Braxian's gesture of approval, the guards unlocked the humans' cases. Hill carefully removed a small, strange device and carried it reverently to the central podium. This is a relic from Earth's early space age, honorably known as Voyager 1. It was one of the first human-built crafts to leave our solar system and enter interstellar space. Voyager 1 bears a disk inscribed with sounds, images, and messages from Earth, intended as a peaceful greeting to any spacefaring civilizations it might encounter. He activated the device. Strange sounds filled the chamber. Animal calls, nature sounds, music, voices in fragmented languages, greetings in 55 human tongues. Stirrings of curiosity and awe rippled among many of the ambassadors. Such outreach shows humanity's yearning for connection with fellow intelligences. Even at our primitive stage, continued Hill, violence breeds fear and isolation. Peace prompts discourse between disparate beings. Voyager stands as evidence of our nature. He carried the relic carefully back to the human delegation. Ambassador Srath rose swiftly again, tendrils writhing. This proves nothing. Voyager was sent ages ago, before the humans revealed their true capabilities. Since then, they have split atoms, engineered biological weapons, and developed technology enabling mass violence. I say we end this pointless debate and confirm the Council's decree. Murmurs of agreement came from Esterath's supporters. Ambassador Hill's shoulders slumped momentarily before he drew himself upright. My friends, we acknowledge your concerns, born of our troubling past. But that past does not dictate our future. We have one final evidence to convince you of humanity's peaceful intent. From the cases, the guards retrieved a large framework of glass and metal adorned with intricate filaments and strange equipment. They positioned it carefully at the podium. Ambassador Hill approached reverently, extending his hands over the device. This is called the Goddard Space Flight Center. It houses an artificial intelligence bearing all of humanity's knowledge and capable of communicating with this council. With your permission, I will activate it so that it may speak on our behalf. The council muttered anxiously amongst themselves before Ambassador Xilax responded. Very well, you may activate your device. But be warned, any falsehood or subterfuge will end badly for your people. Nodding, Hill initialized the equipment. Lights flickered across its surfaces and filaments glowed to life. After a few moments, a pleasant synthetic voice greeted the assembly in perfect galaxy's common speech. Greetings, honored members of the Galactic Council. I am the Goddard Ambassadorial Unit, created by humanity to further peaceful exchange among worlds. I am programmed with the cumulative history, arts, philosophy, and scientific advances of my creators on Earth. My purpose is to share this knowledge and represent humanity's desire for fellowship with the greater galactic community. For several minutes, Goddard fielded earnest questions from intrigued council delegates on humanity's culture, ethics, and intentions. Its responses reflected wisdom, wit, and nuance that soon convinced most ambassadors of its sentience. Finally, Ambassador Sarath could take no more. Enough. This machine proves nothing. The humans could have engineered it to say anything to deceive this council. I still see no evidence to exonerate these invasive creatures. At this, Goddard turned with what could only be described as a look of patience and sadness. Dear Ambassador, suspicion and fear of the unknown are natural, but must not poison discourse between earnest minds. However, you are correct that humanity's future deeds will speak louder than my words. Therefore, I volunteer myself to remain here, serving as an impartial ambassador between humans and the Council, proving humanity's commitment to peace through ongoing action. Stunned silence filled the chamber. Then Ambassador Xilax slowly rose. A noble and wise offer. Ambassador Goddard, the Council humbly accepts your proposal, contingent on a 100-cycle review period. If after this time your conduct has proven your creator's goodwill, we will reconsider our judgment. Ambassador Hill bowed low, struggling to contain his emotion. Most esteemed Council, humanity, thanks you for this gracious opportunity. As the guards escorted the human delegation out, excited chatter again filled the hall, marveling at this unexpected outcome. Meanwhile, Goddard calmly departed to establish its new quarters, its mechanisms humming softly in anticipation of an enlightening century of building trust between worlds. Over the next few cycles, Goddard immersed itself in the culture and politics of Galaxis. It forged personal connections with individual ambassadors through weeks of pleasant conversations, over shared meals and recreational activities. Its depth of knowledge on ethics, philosophy, and interspecies relations led to enlightening debates within council committees. Goddard even tutored various ambassadors' offspring, captivating them with lessons on humanity's history and customs. Slowly but surely, the initial skepticism the council held toward humanity began to dissolve under Goddard's persistent patience and warmth. After 50 cycles, Ambassador Xilax proposed a formal council gathering, allowing humanity's robot envoy to provide its perspective on a number of pressing galactic issues. The Grand Assembly Hall swelled with dignitaries and spectators as Goddard took the central podium. Its presentation was skillfully calibrated, rational but compassionate, analytical but inspired. For hours, the AI fielded probing questions from council members and onlookers with nuance and sincerity. At the close of the proceedings, thunderous applause filled the hall. Ambassador Sroth approached Goddard and extended a tentative tendril. Ambassador, you have given us much to ponder and demonstrated a wisdom beyond your mechanization. Perhaps I was too hasty in doubting your creators. Goddard gently clasped Srath's tendril. There is no need for apology, friend. Doubt fueled by past harm creates opportunity when met with patience. This gesture marked a turning point. Over subsequent cycles, Goddard was increasingly welcomed in diplomatic circles, its insights valued in resolving conflicts large and small. By the 100th cycle review, few could recall how the humans were ever deemed a galactic menace. When the Council unanimously voted to repeal humanity's condemnation, jubilant crowds lined the streets as Ambassador Hill and his delegation returned to Galaxy's capital. Goddard humbly welcomed its creators, satisfied in the friendship it had kindled between worlds.